3 years ago, I barely knew the difference between a sativa and an indica. And pre-COVID, thank God, I was able to go into the dispensaries and talk to the people. And I'll tell you, some people were unbelievably knowledgeable, some weren't. I shared with them my medical issues. Every year, I went to Dr. Caplan to get my card renewed, and I did not take the 15-minute quick call just to get my card renewed. I always spent an hour with him, and we had fascinating conversations. He's provided me with research, but honestly, as I said at the beginning, it was trial and error. So I started to listen to people tell me what worked for certain things. I talked to customers when they were in there, and I finally found things that started working for me. I'm still learning every day. I'm still finding new products every day. I've learned that I can make my own keef by having a grinder and, letting all the resin and everything fall to the bottom, and I don't have to go and buy it. I mean, one of the things I'll talk about at some point when you tell me it's a good time is, how do you go out and buy and afford this? Because it can be expensive. One of the other reasons I don't do edibles is it's too expensive. It's not the best bang for the buck. Flower is the best bang for the buck, but a lot of people don't like to smoke. And so I went to tinctures. I thought they were the be all to end all, and they would be if they weren't so expensive. And by the way, you find out things like, hey, a tincture works quicker than anything else. So if I'm in distress, I want a tincture. I don't want to go and take an edible. I may not even want to go and try flower if I need it quick, relief. And by the way, tincture doesn't go through your liver and your stomach, and it's, there are things that are better for you. The edible does. The flower, same thing. I had issues with my lungs, issues with my stomach. I had cancer. I have arthritis. So I had to be aware of all these things. And I had to take it very seriously. And a lot of people only do this casually. I was very serious about the use. I became my own doctor. And I finally got myself to this point where I literally, have different types of strains for the day and based on how I'm feeling.
So like a matrix.
And I am disabled, so I have a lot of time on my hands. But yeah, it's reading. There is no NIH, to Dr. Caplan's point. I couldn't go to the National Institute of Health and say, hey, maybe they do have something on it now. I wouldn't be surprised Dr. Caplan talked about that. But I went to them for all my health issues, and they never talked about CBD and THC. I would love to see at some point a Mayo Clinic that focuses on this. If you had that, you would start to solve a lot of problems, give people a place to go to and have a place to do everything from, the trials and everything else. And what an amazing concept that would be, to have a holistic center that has a, THC, CBD, marijuana component to it. I think would be amazing. I actually see that someday down the road, that you'll see these clinics popping up. I know they've already talked about having places where you can go and smoke in public and, meet other people and talk about, what's going on. And I think that would be good. I think socializing it would be great. People come to me. They call me their concierge. So talk to the people who know their best. If you don't know anyone, go into the store or talk to them online and utilize Dr. Caplan's resources. I have. That got me started. There's a lot of stuff there. And I have a hard time reading, so don't tell me you can't read. And there's podcasts like this one.